Hi there guys, just a really quick video here. This is my brand new machine I just got, which is the White's Vision V3i. I've just got it attached to a really tiny shooter coil, the 4x6, and it's just to show you a really quick video, probably the first of hopefully a few in the future, just to give you a quick idea of some of the basic discrimination and analyze modes that this has got, but particularly because I haven't been able to find any good ones really. I found a few in Europe, some people have made some good ones, but there's a lack of videos for the types of targets you'd get in England and Britain and Scotland, that sort of thing. So for instance, you've got your classic sort of, sorry my camera's not particularly great in this light, but you get the sort of bits of junky metal, tiny buttons, just bits of funny old brass, the sort of things you find a lot of. These are big iron nails over here. You've got some little sort of rings, musket ball, tiny bit of old jewellery. A whole selection of hammered coins here, including sort of Lizzie First sixpences, Charles II milled fourpence silver coins. The idea being to give you an idea of how they respond. Now all this is obviously going to be air testing, so we are going to have to take this with a fairly large pinch of salt, because obviously mineralization, ground conditions are going to play a big part in sensitivity, depth, all that sort of thing. But I've given you an array. You've got some sort of big copper discs, Victorian penny, 1700s penny I think it is. So hopefully I'll run a few of these past the coil just to give you an idea of some of the discriminant modes, some of the analyze modes that you've got, to see how it responds to sort of more UK targets rather than something you may find in the US. No offence to the American brethren, by the way, just that obviously the history over here goes back there a little bit further, so we've got a bit more mineralisation and sort of variety of targets you might get. So anyway, let's have a go. This machine has a billion different settings, so I won't go into all of them here. I'm going to very quickly go into the top right one here, top left one, your program mode. I'm going to select that. If you can see this very well, probably not. The top one actually says coins and jewellery. So I'm just going to go into the basic normal preset coin and jewellery mode. I'm going to select that. And then there's a trigger on the front of this thing that I'm just going to click once, then twice. That puts me in the standard coin and jewellery search mode. So I'm going to whiz through these so I don't take too long. Right, just to give you an idea, let's take the first thing down here, which is just a little ring. I found this on the Thames foreshore. It's quite old. I don't know whether it's 1600s, might be Elizabethan, said he, dropping it. It could be older, I really don't know, it's so corroded. But anyway, to give you an idea, I'll hold my camera by the screen as I run this past the coil. So you can see you've got your visual display giving it a +53. You've got 3 frequencies on this machine, so it's analysing 3 at the same time. That's what sets this apart from other apparent multi-frequencies, is that the White's one is the only one that genuinely transmits, receives and processes the data for 3 different channels at the same time. So all these sort of claims about multi-frequencies that the other manufacturers make are a little bit dubious, if we're honest. White's keeps it simple, but it does honestly transmit and receive 3 frequencies, which is good because the different frequencies are very good on different metals. I think this is a bronze ring. So anyway, so you're getting a solid VDI repeatable signal. You see the little scale along the bottom of the screen here is giving a nice repeatable, there's signal frequency, the one that's the top one, and there's your middle 7.5, and then there's your 2.5 kilohertz up here. So now what I can also do is flick the trigger forward to give us a different mode. Now I've set this one to one called polar plot. You may not use this a great deal, sorry I just rocked the table, which is why I'm getting a false one, but if I go past this with the ring again, to give you an idea, you get nice diagonal lines, and the leading signal is the red one, and it's on the right hand side of this pair of axes here. So it's telling you that it's in the non-ferrous range. Let's do that again. And it's telling you that the leading one is the red frequency, which is 7.5. I could pinpoint this by pressing and holding the trigger in, which is going to be difficult while doing a camera at the same time. So not quite sure how I'm going to do this. Let's try this. Actually, I don't think the pinpoint's going to be particularly accurate inside. We may need to do pinpoint another day. I'll do pinpoint another day. But anyway, so that's your little brass ring. I'll just run through these really quickly. So here's your little tiny sort of clover. I think it's possibly an earring or a bit of an old necklace or something. Let's have a look at that. Much smaller. Good repeatable signal. Nice solid V3i numbers. And this is, I hasten to add, I repeat, this is just on coins and jewellery, so, you know, for those that were worried that it doesn't work on items in the UK particularly well. This is a musket ball, sort of big thing, you find a lot of these in the UK. Okay, now something just to show you very quickly on the polar plot with a musket ball, here you are, is that as I go past, again, it gives you a nice tag. It also gives you, up by the big V3i number here, there is a little tiny confidence number. I don't know if we can see that very well. Sorry, my camera's a bit rubbish on this phone, but it's saying 98%. So that's its confidence rating, that this V3i of 54, and that reading on the chart is 98. Oh, well, saying 90 now, it varies a little bit, but it's 90 and above positive that is an accurate reading. So that's what I would call a good target. That's a good reading. Now then, iron. These are the things, you get a lot of this in the UK. I know you get a lot of it everywhere, but this particularly old, these big iron bolts that you get. I got these in a field. So if we just run one past the coil, you see it changes. You've got a minus V3i going the other side, the left hand side of this polar plot. It's telling you horseshoe iron. Now you can probably hear that threshold going on and off a little bit. So that's a really positive and easy way of identifying iron. Even if I hold all three of these together, so it's a big chunk of iron. So just so you can see, I'm going to hold them all together and see what it does this time. Again, really big. It's all over the place. There's no way you're going to mistake that for anything other than a big chunk of iron. Great discrimination. So now let's move on to the sort of things I'll move on to the hammered last. Let's do some classic little bits of sort of copper and bronze. I think this is an old bottle cap, really old sort of pewter leady compound thing. Let's see how this one goes up. Again, nice solid lines on the right hand side of this. It's giving us a 78% confidence, plus 25. You know, nice solid reading. You'd dig that without a doubt. Showing you that this, in case the blue frequency, which is the high frequency here, is just the leading one. I think it's very close. Red and blue. Very close. I think it's just blue. Anyway, so you can start to get an idea of which metal it is by which frequency has got the strongest response. Here's just a little funny piece of possibly jewellery. It's got some marking on it, not sure. Just a bit of brass. Different reading, plus 17, 84% accuracy. Nice straight lines on this chart, you see, no squirrely whirly ones. Again, blue, easily the leading one here. Repeatable signal, solid. You dig that. Now then, here's one. Down in these sort of bits of stuff you find a lot of tiny little button, probably it's like a little mushroom button, or there's many names for these. Classic, very British, European find. I'd say probably 1600s, maybe 1700s, but it's very hard to tell. Metalwork is okay, but to give you an idea, very small, well, yeah, smallish target. See the size of my finger on it. Let's have a go at this. So again, really high rating. No, it's 26, and it's got a 99% certainty rating. So again, I know the icons don't quite match what you get in the UK, but that's a good reading. I think you dig it. You can see it's got a bit of squiggle in it. They're not perfect straight lines, so this has probably got some alloy. It's got something that's giving it a little bit of interference depending on its angle and stuff, so it's not a pure form. Let's just rush through these really quickly. A little bit of brass, much higher tone. You see the leading green signal this time, 79, higher up the rating. Good line, straight lines on the right hand side, definite, you dig that. Similar piece, funny bit of brass, not sure what that is. Let's have a look at that one. Ooh, totally different. I thought it was brass, but maybe it's not. This is all the interesting thing. It's saying foil, possible small ring, totally different frequencies, but it's 99% certain that it's plus 14 on the V3i. You would dig that in the UK because it's in the pluses. It's a solid signal, straight lines. You get a lot of little low conductivity targets in the UK and European soils. So yeah, you'd go for that, no problem. Let's whiz through these. Big chunky piece of brass, probably a dog tag, I think. Let's see what this does. Here we go. Different again, higher up on the V3i, giving it about a 99% confidence rating. Red is your leading frequency. You'd dig that, I'd say. This next one, this is a Victorian. It's not Victorian. It's who is it? I can't even see who it is. It's a 1930s penny, so it's George V. There we are, George V. George V, classic British coin. Nice 70, 72. Green is your leading, so that's your high frequency. Your high being your lowest one, so it's your 2.5 kilohertz frequency is your leading one. Excuse the squiggle as I just held that, but you can see that is a solid, repeatable signal. Nice straight lines. Green is your leading frequency. Solid. You'd dig that without a doubt. And there's a slightly older one. Again, it's another copper something. 75. Solid. 97. Green lines. Good signal. You'd dig it. Now then, onto the hammers. So let's start with an Elizabeth I silver sixpence from 1568. I found this a while ago with an XLT. So we'll see how this one comes up. This was about 10 to 12 inches down, I can't remember exactly. But here we go. Lower conductivity, 51. Nice straight lines, 99% certainty. It's telling us coin, you would dig that without a doubt. Certainly in the UK you would. It's quite high conductivity for a hammered coin, but then this is a big silver coin, so you're going to get slightly higher up on the visual display. Let's try a smaller one. This is a Charles II milled fourpence. Very nice little coin. Found this with the XLT as well, so this V3i has a lot to look up to. Let's go for this. So that one, 55. Yeah, again, nice. Straight lines, very confident. Again, solid, repeatable signal, you'd dig it. No problem. Now then, into the interesting one. The older, low conductivity hammered coins. These are, you're not going to see these very well, I'm afraid. This is a lovely little long cross coin that I found. Again, an XLT coin, lovely condition, absolutely tiny as you can see. It's the size of the end of my finger, if that. So this is a classic. You want to find these, so you don't want to miss these. This is what a lot of detectorists are worried about these American machines, is whether they're so good on the tiny, low conductivity things like hammered coins. So I'm going to wave this tiny one past the coil. So There you are. Nice straight line. Excuse my my phone going off. So it's giving us a nice repeatable 25. It's a solid. Blue and red are similar, but again its confidence rating is 99%. So it's a good quality metal. There's no alloy or anything in that. You would definitely dig that. That's well within the hammered coin range. I'm just going to whiz through these. There's a whole variety of different ones. This is a John I hammered. I'm going to whiz through here. So this is John I. 23 again. Not a dissimilar reading, but the confidence rating is high again. Now let's try a different one. This is a darker coloured one. Dreadful condition, but now much lower tone. Quite a different signal, just plus 12 this time. Leading on the high frequency, 22.5 kilohertz is leading. But again, it's confident. It's nearly 100% confident of what that is. But you see the American icons are saying foil or ring. Well, if you're out in a ploughed field and you get that, you dig it without doubt. It's you don't want to go missing hammer coins. This next one is a little Roman minim. So this is a Roman minim. They are slightly higher up. Confidence rating about 84. 33 again. You dig that without a doubt. The Roman, not sure what this is, a bit of a grotty one, don't know what it is. 29, 84, again, they're all solid. Let's go for a really tiny, terrible condition hammered coin, this one. No, can hardly even see anything on it, but there you are. Low tone, 16. Again, that leading blue channel, similar to the other one we saw earlier. This is a rose farthing, I believe. 15 again, leading blue. There you are, polar plot. So that is hardly rocket science, and it's hardly the most in-depth explanation of how that works, and a lot of UK detectorists are not going to use polar plot at all. There seems to be a real favouritism for correlate and best data, which I haven't even gone to in this video. Don't be afraid of the V3i. It does have a lot of information, but it really is absolutely a fantastic machine, without a doubt. I've used whites all my life. People have always questioned me how well they work. Well, I can absolutely guarantee you they work fantastically. This one does so much that you do need to dedicate time to it. You do need to give it some hours of searching and really play around, but that's half the fun. It sounds like boys with toys and tweaky sort of little, bleepy buttons and flashy lights. But if I can have fun analysing all these different targets, when I go past that and I see that, and I think, well, not digging that. Look at that squirrely iron figure. But then suddenly that comes out of the blue. Oh, hello. What's that? Well, what isn't fun about that? I think that's fantastic with the detecting. I detect a lot on the Thames foreshore. I am using a tiny little shooter coil. The V3i will also use its standard double D coil, which is great as well. But yeah, so that's your really basic functionality. I wish maybe I should try and show you the pinpoint a bit better. It's going to be difficult with this, because I have to hold the trigger down at the same time. So let's try this again. Alright, I think I can just about reach it. So by holding the trigger down, it's going to put it into pinpoint mode. So this is what you call DC mode. I'm just going to move a Roman sort of grot bronze coin here. You can see the 3 frequencies. You can also see a reflection of my light. I do apologise. But the strongest frequency is coming up the red one. You see? It's a terrible video. I do apologise. But that'll tell you the frequency that's responding the strongest. So obviously the green ones are good for things like copper and brass and all of that. Deep silver, very, very good on low, the very low, the 2.5 kilohertz. And the middle one's 7.5. Is pretty good on a lot of different targets. It's quite low, so it's good for depth. It's good on small targets, but it's more responsive on bigger ones too. And you're really high, your 22.5 kilohertz is great for tiny targets. You know, if you're going for little bits of gold jewelry or maybe tiny hammered coins, you know, that high 22 is going to find them. You know, so anyway, I have much to learn. I will report back. Again, this is only air testing, so I will do some proper field tests, and I will do some test beds in the soil with, you know, articles similar to this, so that British and European users get a good idea how it holds up in UK soil conditions. I'll also try and do some beach if I get a chance. I don't go to the beach very often, but I know there are beach users here. This does have beach mode and salt compensate mode, so hopefully it'll do pretty well there as well. Anyway, that's the end of this first video. Very glad to have the V3i. Shame I can't go outside because it is snowing quite heavily out there, typical. I hope that's been useful. I shall do some more videos shortly and see what we come up with. But overall, really excited, lots to learn, and I'll come back with some other Analayze modes and things on UK artifacts very soon. All the best, see you in the next video. Bye bye.